Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Finland once again, and of course this means we're doing another beer from Riku box number 1. So a massive shout out to Riku once again for making these Finnish reviews possible. Thanks to him you are going to see a steady flow of Finnish reviews over the next years and months and whatever, because we will be doing more Finnish beer boxes I'm sure. But for this review we are actually going to stick to the same town as we were in last time with Coolhead. So we're going to go to Tuusula once again, which is a little bit to the north, maybe an hour and a half or so to the north of Helsinki, and we're having a look at my first beer from Maku Brewing. So this one is their IPA. It comes in at 7.3% ABV, and from what Riku was saying, this one is a little bit of a kind of gateway beer. This brewery are well known for doing kind of very well balanced and quite drinkable beers actually. So he said to me this is one that you really need to try if you want to see, you know, the kind of almost the roots of Finnish craft brewing actually. So really curious to see what this has in store for us actually. This is a brewery that I had heard of before, kind of. I'd seen their beers when I'd gone through Helsinki airport before, but unfortunately I couldn't take any of them with me to Japan or Hong Kong or whatever, because the alcohol shop that they have in the airport there doesn't really sell craft beer. It's only, you know, the likes of Lapin Kulta and all of these kind of things that you can get. So yeah, it'd be cool to see them have a few more craft things in the lounge there. But yeah, definitely cool to try another Finnish brewery, and as I say, it's very nice to be able to do a kind of Finnish mini series of reviews for you. So let's see how we get on with this one. I'm curious to see what this has in store for us. It's 7.3% as well. This is a slightly stronger IPA. It's going back to the old days when the IPAs were sitting around 7% ABV. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this one then. So as always with my reviews, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery before we taste the beer. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I'll do from Maku Brewing in the future. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, as I said. There's all the usual social media down there as well. If you want to see more reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Finnish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's being added to whenever I get the opportunity, but regularly now since we've got Riku as my Finnish beer meal. And yeah, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, on to my brewery notes then to tell you a little bit about Maku Brewing. So Maku Brewing are based in Tuusula, as I said to you, just to the kind of northeast-ish, I guess about an hour or so to the northeast-ish of Helsinki in southern Finland, and they were founded back in 2014 by Jussi Tamminen and Juhani Repo. So the pair worked together in Dublin in the IT industry. They worked for IBM, from what I understand, for a number of years, and they really just, you know, over there they started drinking beer, trying different kinds of beer, and decided they wanted to start their own brewery. So after their time in Ireland was over, Jussi decided that he wanted to travel the world, and he ended up, you know, going all over the place, meeting different brewers and trying lots of different styles of beer, and of course this only inspired him further. So he then took up home brewing as a bit of a hobby, and then he eventually started properly laying the groundwork for his brewery and got things moving in 2013. So the brewery continued to grow over the coming years after being founded in 2014. And they had various rounds of investment, and they now have around 300 different shareholders. But they originally had one small industrial unit, and they've expanded into the 2 neighbouring lots as well. They've added a canning line, which made them one of the first breweries in Finland to can, and in 2019 they appointed Ville Makkonen, who'd been with them I think since 2017. As a sales manager and things. He is now the CEO of the company, and he's sort of formulating plans for them to, you know, to build their own brewing facility and stuff like this. So exciting times ahead for these guys. The name of the brewery, Maku, apparently is the Finnish word for taste. And they said they chose that because that's what's important to them, the taste of their beers. And as of May 2020, when I'm producing this review for you, they've produced in the region of 150 different kinds of beer, according to Untappd, which is pretty impressive for a brewery that's been around sort of, you know, 6 years or so. That's at least, you know, it's just shy of 30, maybe 25 beers actually every year. So that's pretty impressive actually. It's a pretty impressive rate of return. But yeah, that was all the information I was really able to find on Maku Brewing for you at the moment. They're producing some somewhere in the region of, I think it's about 300,000 litres of beer per year at the moment, and if they get their own brewery, of course, that will mean they expand that capacity a little bit too. But yeah, if you want to learn more about this brewery, check out the brewery website. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with all the latest goings on, and of course you can check out the Rate Beer, Untappd and Beer Advocate pages as well. So yeah, let's go on and have a little taste of this beer and see how we get on. So one of the things you will notice about the Maku beers is the artwork. I have to admit, the artwork on these is pretty cool. It's almost like, you know, it's almost a little bit like a kind of comic book style actually. So I do have to compliment them on that. I do like the way I do like the style of artwork that they have on these beers. So yeah, that is pretty damn nice, I have to say. So yeah, like I said to you, this one is a 7.3% IPA. I'm guessing at that strength, and I think this is one of the older beers that they've got as well, so I'm wondering if this will be more of a West Coast type IPA rather than anything else. It does have some stuff in finish there on the side, in which I think I'm not going to be able to translate for that for you, no way. But those of you who are watching in Finland, you can have a little look at that. And so I always find that Finnish, I think, it's a very nice sounding language. I like the way that Finnish sounds, but the thing that I always find funny when I look at it is just the words are so long. It basically seems to be it almost seems to be like a contest of how many vowels you can put in a word in Finnish. You know, it's craziness, absolute craziness. But yeah, it is a very beautiful language to listen to. A lot of good heavy metal bands from Finland, and I like listening to the songs that they have in Finnish as well, actually, which is very good. But yeah, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the taste, and then I'm really curious to see what this has in store for us. And I will say that as soon as you open this up, it has a very, very nice aroma to it. I think this is going to be good. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be more of a West Coast kind of IPA as well. And as I've been telling you many a time, I've been missing the higher bitterness, the big sweet caramelly backbones of the West Coast IPAs. Even these days, you know, they're doing the new West Coast, the kind of reversion to the West Coast IPAs. They're more biscuity and just lighter. They're not the new takes on the West Coast IPA. They're just not the same as they used to be back in the days of Torpedo and things like that. But yeah, as you can see with this one, this is poured a lovely kind of rich, almost blood orange amber. The colour of this beer is absolutely lovely. This looks like a proper old school West Coast type IPA. You can see there's a solid 2/3 finger of a frothy, I would say cream coloured head on this one, very lightly beige. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head there, but overall nothing overly surprising about this beer. As I say, if you consider it as a sort of West Coast IPA, then there's nothing particularly surprising about the appearance of this one. So yeah, let's have a look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this beer. Oh, that smells good. It does. It smells very nice. I think this one's quite old school, going by the kind of hoppy aromas that we're getting out of this. So straight away with this one, you can smell a nice little bit of that kind of bready, you get a nice bit of that kind of white bready base to the beer. You can smell the kind of sweet caramel just sitting on top of that, little bit of a kind of McVitie's digestive biscuity sort of thing to it as well. You know, it's a sort of typical West Coasty, it really is a kind of typical West Coasty smelling malt base, this one. There's one or two little grainy elements to it as well, a little bit of a kind of woody quality. But yeah, the aroma coming out of this beer, I think, is very, very nice. Very sort of classic, old school West Coast, as I've repeated a few times in this video. Yeah, definitely. You can smell a little bit of the booziness out of this too. But yeah, that smells really good. On the hoppy side of things then, there's a wee touch of earthiness to this one. You do get a nice little bit of quite a kind of big floral, piney resin out of this one actually. I do wonder if this has got a bit of Chinook in it. But I think at the same time it might have Columbus. It's maybe got both right enough. Very popular bittering hops back in the days of the West Coast IPA. But yeah, the aroma coming out of this is just, it's lovely. I really, really like this. Yeah, the aroma of this beer is just is very, very nice actually. You get a bit of the lighter grassiness in there, but definitely the green side of the hops for me are leaning towards that kind of spicy floral, maybe Columbus type and sort of Chinook type piney resins. There's a good bit of grapefruit coming out of this one, which if it's got those hops in it, particularly Chinook, is not surprising. But there is a bit of a kind of tropical element to this as well. I think there might be, I've got a feeling this might be like Citra or Simcoe maybe, and Amarillo. There is a bit of an orangey quality to this beer as well. It could be Mosaic, right enough. There is definitely an orangey element to the aroma of this beer. And at the same time, the oranges actually get stronger, I think, the more that you smell of this beer, and it's quite an oily orange, so I'm tempted to say it's Amarillo, but some of the earthy notes that the beer has make me think Mosaic. But yeah, a little bit of a darker grapefruity note to this one. There is a wee bit of like a slightly mango-ish, passion fruity, tropical type thing in there, so there could be Citra and Simcoe in this. I think this one, in terms of its recipe, is pretty old school, so that's the reason why I would guess that it's these hops in it. I think, you know, it could be, I do think maybe Columbus is a bittering hop, perhaps maybe Chinook being used in there as well, and then I think you've got like, I think you've definitely got like Amarillo or Mosaic, and then I think you've either got Citra or Simcoe in this one. There's something about this that just makes me feel that it's very old school. There could be a little bit of Cascade or something as well. There are a few little elements to the the sort of grassy and floral side of things, and a little bit of the fruitiness as well. You do almost get a little bit of a lighter kind of figgy note out of this one, which sometimes comes with Cascade, although from what I gather some breweries were using like grape sugar in this style of beer back in the day just to give you that little bit of red fruitiness almost. So yeah, there is something just very, very old school about the aroma of this beer, but I certainly like how this one, I really like how this one goes together, so you know, big thumbs up to Maku Brewing on the aroma of this one. I think it's properly old school, this. But yeah, take a bit of time and enjoy that for yourself before you get stuck into it. But now we are going to have a taste of this one then and see how we get on. So let's see how we go then. This one is the IPA from Maku Brewing in Tuusula, to the northeast of Helsinki in southern Finland. Once again, a huge thank you to Riku for making this review possible. Let's have a taste. An IPA at 7.3%. Slange, skål, kipis. That's nice. It is properly old school, this one, and I can see, you know, I can see this whole thing that Riku was saying. This is a sort of like gateway beer, if you like, because it's not, you know, it's not really too in your face and things. This is a kind of, you know, it's a quite solid one. This it doesn't do anything sort of surprising for the style, but it's well made, and that's what you want. You know, sometimes trying to be absolutely insane with your beers isn't going to work out for you, but you know, trying this one, and I think is very nice. This is a good introduction to Maku Brewing. I need to see if I can get a hold of some of the other beers. Something from the dark end of the spectrum or whatever would be very nice as well. And I'll tell you something, for 7.3%, it doesn't taste overly boozy either. It is actually just very kind of nicely done and nicely drinkable. So yeah, that's good. Thumbs up to Maku for this. Yeah, let's try and break the flavour of this down a little bit then and see how we get on. So straight away in the middle of your palate you can feel a nice little bit of that kind of pale malty quality. That blankets the middle of your tongue. On top of that, if you go further back on the palate, you will get a little bit of a grainy note coming out of this one. You can feel a little bit of a grainy dryness. It's almost very slightly peppery, to be honest with you. I do get a little bit of that towards the back of the palate. So the back third of your tongue, I think, it does have some of the kind of sort of bready base to it, but it's got a little bit of spiciness to it. If you move into the middle third of your tongue, the central third, this is where you get the smoother bready elements, and then on top of that you start to get the kind of sweet caramelly note. You've definitely got some McVitie's digestive biscuity kind of notes in there as well, but you've got that nice thick, you definitely have that nice kind of thicker caramel to it as well. It's not too oily, it's got a little bit of a kind of silky mouthfeel to it in the middle of the palate too, and then the further you go into the aftertaste you will get more and more of the sweetness coming out of that. So the sweet side of this beer, I think, is really well balanced, but it's not too in your face and not kind of as big and oily as you'd get from the likes of, you know, Green Flash or Sierra Nevada or whatever. You know, it's just got a nice, it's got quite a bit of breadiness to it. I mean, you can kind of tell the European IPAs were always like that. They had a bit more breadiness to them than some of the American West Coast ones actually, but the way that this goes together is really nice. It is a properly old school IPA, this. If you like the likes of the Sierra Nevada Pale, the Torpedo and things, it's kind of somewhere in between those. It's got It's got the drinkability almost of the pale, but not quite the kind of boozy hit that you'd expect of the torpedo. So solid beer actually. Yeah, it does sweeten up a little bit more, the more that you drink of it as well. But if you go to the front corners of the palate and move in a little bit, you will get a few wee woody undertones coming out of this one, which is quite nice. So yeah, on the hoppy side of things then, I think we've kind of said all we really need to about the malt base. In the back corners of the palate there is definitely a little bit of earthiness there, and as you come further forward along the sides of the tongue, you've got a lovely big kind of floral, aromatic kind of thing out of this. I do think there is a bit of a, I think there might be Columbus used in here as the bittering hop. There's just something that's telling me some of the spiciness of that floral character that's in there is Columbus, and then you start to get some of these nice big kind of piney resins out of the beer as well. So I think Columbus and Chinook in this one. Definitely Columbus. I'm not quite as sure about Chinook right enough, but I'm pretty certain both of those hops are in here. And then as you go round the front curve of the tongue, the beer is just a little bit lighter and grassy. Then behind the front curve of the palate, that's where you get that nice oily bubble where those juicy fruity esters start to roll out of the beer. It's got a nice kind of oily fruity character to it as well, which is very nice. I like how that all goes together. Yeah. So yeah, the fruitiness of this is pretty interesting. It's got a nice little balance of different things actually. So if you go towards the back of that front third of your palate, the fruity third of your tongue, you do get some of these nice dark grapefruity notes in there. As I say, that's one of the things that makes me suspect there's a bit of Chinook in here. If there is a bit of Citra in this, that'll also give you it. But as you move further forward, the beer, it moves to a slightly lighter kind of tropical note, maybe sort of passion fruity or mangoey. That's what makes me think either Citra or Simcoe in this one. It could actually, there's something that tells me this might be Simcoe and Amarillo, to be honest with you. So I think there is a wee bit of a lighter kind of passion fruity note there, and the tropical fruit isn't so complex in this one, because it quite quickly, you get the passion fruity notes, and then it quite quickly changes into, you know, in the front half of that front third of your tongue, if that makes sense, it is definitely more kind of oily and orangey. I'm pretty sure, I really would not be surprised if there's Amarillo in this one. As I always say, I like playing guess the hops with these beers. I mean, when it's oranges, there's lots of other things it could be. It could be Sabro, it could be Waiiti from New Zealand, it could Pacifica from New Zealand as another option, it could be Mandarina Bavaria, it could be Azaka, it could be Sabro. So yeah, but I think it's far more likely to be either Amarillo or Mosaic that's in this one. I think it's one of these two. But yeah, it does, the very front part of your palate is definitely more kind of oily and orangey, and the oiliness makes me think it's Amarillo, to be honest. But yeah, that's a nice, that's quite a nice tasting beer, this one, I have to say. It is, you know, it's one of these ones that's, it's really, if you know this style, it kind of gives you everything you want from it. It's not doing anything surprising, it's just intended to be a kind of solid beer, and you know, that's what you want. I'm sure Riku told me that this was like really widely available. I think this was maybe one of the ones that's available in all the Alco stores. But yeah, I think this beer is, it's really nice actually. It's, for what it is, you know, it's supposed to be a kind of, these guys say that they'd like to brew beers that are more balanced and drinkable. These are beers that are designed to be sessionable, and it gives you exactly that, so you can't really knock it in that way. Yeah, 7.3%. This, I'm trying to remember what the Punk IPA was originally, that Brewdog did. I want to say that that was like 6.8, of course, and then they've scaled that back quite considerably over the years, so I hope that these guys don't do that as well. But this is a nice, this is a solid kind of West Coast IPA in my mind, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink that again. It'd be nice to try this on tap actually when it's straight and fresh, so maybe I need to go to Tuusula and visit the guys at Coolhead and Maku and film some interviews or something. That could be interesting. I need to get to Finland and explore a little bit. That's something that's definitely on the list for the next wee while. But yeah, I like what they've done with this one, and it gets a thumbs up from me. I need to try a few more of the beers from them. Maybe a stout or something should be the next port of call. Something from the dark end of the spectrum would be good to try with these guys. In terms of the mouthfeel then, I'd say, you know, top end of mid-bodied, bottom end of full-bodied for me. Carbonation's quite smooth in this. It's got a very it's got a nice wetness to the mouthfeel. I mean, it feels quite clean in a way, which I like about it. The hoppy bitterness, I think you're looking at maybe about 70 IBUs for this. It could be a little bit more. It's definitely a higher bitterness IBU. Sitting around that kind of 75, maybe 70, 80 sort of IBU mark. It's definitely up there. The malt base, like I say, is quite smooth, but there is a degree of sweetness to it as well, and you've got some nice fruity qualities to it. Some of the darker, more sour grapefruit, and some of the more oily orange as well. But yeah, this is just a solid IPA from Maku. It's not the most kind of in-your-face thing that you're probably going to find in Finland, I would suspect, but you know, it's a good one. It's a sort of, you know, as a kind of go-to IPA, this could be really pretty nice. So I hope they keep this in production, and I hope they keep it on the west coast side of things, because it is a little bit old school in that regard as well. So yeah, this one was a nice introduction to Maku Brewing. I guess we should leave it at that. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Maku Brewing. Do give me some other Finnish brewery recommendations, because I know that you know, like as is the case here in Sweden, there's and back home in Scotland, you know, there's lots of little breweries popping up that not many people know about. So do give me some recommendations and stuff, and I'll talk to Riku and see what we can get a hold of. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As I say, Finnish beers are going to be a regular fixture for us now on the channel. So yeah, let's just see how we get on with that. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Maku Brewing. Do give me some Finnish brewery recommendations, and I will catch you guys later. This one was the IPA at 7.3% from Maku Brewing in Tuusula in the south of Finland. Slange, skål, kipis.